Hey everyone, welcome to the channel where we talk about all things movies. Welcome especially if you're new. If you enjoy talking about movies as much as me, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my reviews each time they post. It's usually on the weekends and I do about 2 or 3 reviews per week. But yeah, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to smash that like button. It just helps me gauge what content you all enjoy and helps me kind of pick out which movies to see in theaters. So with that, let's get into this review. I just got back from seeing Ambulance at the theater, so let's talk about it. And we'll just begin with a brief synopsis, which is this is a movie about two robbers who steal an ambulance after the heist goes awry, or after their heist goes awry. It's pretty straightforward premise, and my background going into this, I've seen the trailer, and this is a Michael Bay film. Michael Bay is a pretty well-known director at this point. Maybe doesn't really have the reputation for making necessarily the most artistic films, but certainly has made popular films. So I was interested to check this out. I enjoy Jake Gyllenhaal a lot as an actor. I like most of the stuff that he's in. So kind of those two things. And yeah, seeing the trailer, it had me interested enough, not entirely sold, but hopeful that what I saw in the trailer actually came out to be a good film. So we'll start off the good parts that I liked of the film. And first up is the cinematography. I thought it was and overall, it was good. Like the film looked really clean, and I saw it in IMAX, so it was just a really nice looking film. I liked kind of the more natural lighting and kind of color palette that they used for the film as a whole. And then I do like Michael Bay. I think has a very distinct style, or at least unique. He has a lot of kind of interesting shots that he does with how he moves the camera to kind of sweep around. He'll get, kind of hug the ground in a lot of scenes and kind of have it angle up and that sort of thing. He'll also spin it around. So I enjoy those things, but maybe not for 2 hours and 16 minutes. So it was good at first. But maybe got a little old by the end. But I don't know. Not every movie has those, so I do like seeing them, like the sweeping shots from like the helicopters and stuff like that. So overall was good. It maybe just got to be a little much by the end of the film. The second thing I liked is the music. It's done by Lauren Balfe. He's done several things that I like as a composer. So this is definitely a soundtrack I'm looking forward to listening to on its own. And then I thought the acting also was pretty good, and like I said, I like Jake Gyllenhaal, and it was actually a lot of fun to see him play this kind of, heist bank robber, sort of unhinged, slightly crazy guy who still cares about his brother and is going to go to whatever lengths necessary to protect him. So he reminded me a lot actually the of Mysterio from Spider-Man Far From Home. At least when Mysterio is revealed to be the villain and he's kind of not really putting on a facade, the evil version of where he's just kind of unhinged and just gonna do whatever it takes. So I got several vibes of that coming through, but that I think just made it a lot of fun to watch. So, and I thought the other characters, for the most part, did a pretty good job. I think the police and the FBI were pretty standard or stereotypical, which I don't know. I guess I'm not surprised from what I've seen in Michael Bay films that that's what we got. I don't know how much. I feel like the way though that the police are painted in the movie is not painting them in a very good light. So that's maybe that's probably another conversation whether or not it was realistic, but it certainly wasn't all that favorable of a light. But I thought the other side characters like the EMT, what was her name, Cam. I thought Cam, Danny, and Will were all played well, or at least as well as they could given the script. Which, that kind of leads us now into the things that I didn't really care for about the film. I thought the story and the script were extremely weak. I believe this was the writer of the screenplay. It was his first movie that he's done. I think he's done some TV, but I think it showed quite a bit that this was his first movie. I thought, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't really make sense as you're going throughout the film. Like, this is, since Moonfall, I think this has been the hardest time I've had, just having to constantly tell my brain to turn off during a movie. Like, just finding all the holes in the plot and things that don't make sense. It was really, really hard to sit through this movie and be constantly doing that. So some movies you can just you have to do that like once or twice, and you can kind of go with it. But this movie, especially since it came in over 2 hours for the type of movie that it just felt like the entire time I was having to do that. And yeah, like characters making decisions that just didn't make any sense, people acting like, yeah, whether it was people acting that way or just things in general. Like they would bring up, they'd make points and that would just kind of come up to seemingly add to like the heightened excitement of everything, and then they just like disappear without any explanation. Like the first 15 minutes of the car chase, they're talking about like, oh, we got to wrap, the police are like, we got to wrap this up because rush hour is coming and we don't want to, like, it's rush hour in LA and we don't want to have any like people hurt unnecessarily. And like, so they bring that threat up several times, but then it never is realized. Like the car chase goes on for 2 hours, at the beginning of which they say we're about to hit rush hour, but we never see rush hour. There's always clear roads and everything. So I'm like, I mean, occasionally we do see some cars on, but like we never see an LA style rush hour. Because if you did, then you wouldn't have a car chase. It would be stop and go, which wouldn't be interesting. But like, it just like went away completely unexplained. And there are several other things that, that's just one instance, but I felt like that happened multiple times throughout the film and just got old by the end of it. It also seemed that the police were really inconsistent in their tactics. So I don't know, the whole thing just came across also so it's basically a 2-hour car chase and / Mexican standoff where both sides are like threatening to shoot the other, but they both know that they won't and they both don't. So it just gets like after 20 minutes of that's when it just starts to get old very fast, I thought. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like in music where like if you have a playlist or even maybe a single song is fine, but if you have like a full playlist, you can't just have every single song at like the highest BPM, and like that just doesn't work. You have to kind of take the BPM up and down for it to be interesting. And this movie is just solidly at like the highest, fastest rate it can go. And I don't think it really works. I think this movie would have been a lot better if it had been, say, like an hour and a half as opposed to 2 hours and 16 minutes. I think by the end, it just seemed to kind of drag out and definitely lost my interest there the longer it went on. And then like the last thing that didn't make a ton of sense was they brought in this FBI guy like specially, and then he seems to just be kind of like 5 steps down on the ladder, like as far as like who's in charge. Like I would assume if they're bringing in the FBI takes charge, but this guy is just kind of there for support, but the police are like still running it. And so that was a little weird, and I didn't really get why that was. But yeah, so those are the main things I didn't really care for. Kind of going through this list, you can probably gauge my overall like thoughts and rating for this movie. There are a few things that I liked, there are significantly more that I didn't care for. And kind of leaving the theater, this was just kind of a meh movie. I would, on a letter grade, I would give it a C. That kind of corresponds with that meh category. It's not a bad film. I wouldn't say definitely don't go see it, but I can't say that I'd recommend this film. Yeah, it's a 2+ hour car chase that by the end of it, when the ride stops and you're able to get out because the credits rolled, you're more than happy to get out, close the door, and never see that car again, in my opinion. So the yeah, that does it for this review. If you've been able to see Ambulance, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know, did you have fun with this movie? I think I would have had fun if it was just like an hour and a half and they just made it a much tighter movie, but it just felt way too long by the end of it for the story that they told. And but yeah, hopefully, maybe you had a different experience, and if you did, I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed this review, be sure to smash the like button. And yeah, with that, that concludes our review. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.